3. Donald McKendy.
How many people here have received a diploma at one time or another? And how many of you found out that when you got your first job that you really didn't know very much? Let me tell you a story about a young man who had that very experience. He grew up in the city, got himself a forestry degree. His first job was at the Pacific Northwest Research Center in the state of Washington. He showed up at the job and he was approached by a short, stocky, 55-year-old man. Hello, my name is Richard. You can call me Dick. Nice to meet you. Follow me. He took the young man into the forest to a tree that was magnificent. It was 6 feet across and nearly 300 feet high. Do you know what type of tree this is? Well, yes, sir. It's a Douglas fir tree. Very good. When I was your age, I took a hatchet and I put it in that tree right at eye level. And now it's 30 feet up there. Wow, that's pretty cool. You have a forestry degree and you don't even know how a tree grows. If I had put the hatchet here 30 years ago, it would still be here. Trees grow from the top up. Time to put away your books, college boy, and learn something about the forest. Their job description was to go into an old growth forest and do an ecological study. The first challenge was to remove the vine maple that was in the way of getting around in the forest. Now, vine maple is a shrub that grows 20 to 30 feet high, and it has multiple stems that cross each other and causes a great problem in cutting them because there's so much tension that if you hit the wrong branch, it'll break and it actually could kill a man. So Dick took the young man, by now you figured out that was me, and showed me how to cut these trees to release the tension. And then he let me do it on my own. Well, I cut down 5 or 6, no problem. Walked up to the next one very confidently, took my chainsaw, without evaluating, stuck it in a tree, and the branch hit me and knocked me to the ground, about 10 feet away from the tree. As I looked up with a headache through my foggy eyes, I saw a man standing there. Well, son, the forest has a way of knocking sense into a man. Over the next 2 or 3 months, he taught me how the whole forest is intertwined. Everything has a purpose, from the smallest bacteria to the largest trees, and of course the animals. And speaking of animals, my favorite were the flying squirrels. Flying squirrels have a pad under their front legs, and they don't fly, but they glide from tree to tree and knock down cones for the winter. It looked like they're having so much fun. Well, one warm afternoon, I decided to take a nap under one of the largest fir trees. As I'm laying there, about half asleep, I feel this pap pap on the top of my head. I thought that was kind of odd. And I look up, and there's the 2 squirrels. They're dropping cones on me. Their names were Fred and Wilma. Now, Fred and Wilma apparently didn't like me being there. Now, I just thought I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But as I moved away from the tree, they followed me out on the branch, and they kept dropping cones on me. So out of self-defense, I started grabbing cones and throwing them, which is absolutely laughable. There's no way that I'm going to throw a cone 100 feet in the air and hit anything. And meanwhile, they're just pelting me. Well, I hear from a distance. When you're done playing with the squirrels, we have work to do. Well, all good things must come to an end. At the end of the summer, Dick invited me to his house for a barbecue. I consumed 2 very large, juicy cheeseburgers and the best homemade apple pie I have ever had. He then took me out on his deck, gave me an ice cold beer. He went into his shed and he brought out of his shed a homemade wooden box about this big. Son, over the last few months, you have become a forester, and I want you to have this as a keepsake. I took the box, and on top was engraved Tiger, which he never called me, but he knew that was my name. I unlatched the box, and inside was one of the most meaningful gifts I have ever received. For inside that box was an old, rusty, wooden-handled hatchet that had been in that tree that he showed me at the very beginning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
1 minute silence. Please, timer, tell us when 1 minute is over.